All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Jermaine. Welcome to Jermaine's Football Truths, or JFT. Now, I know this video is a long time overdue, a little bit late with the predictions and everything, but now's the time to catch it. All right, better late than never. So, welcome to my World Cup predictions video, and I'll be breaking down every group, the whole route, all the way to the final, giving you my winners, of course, my dark horses, surprise team, best player, young player, and top goal scorer. Get ready. So, let's start with Group A. All right. In Group A, we have one of the hosts of the World Cup. We got Mexico in there, South Korea, and then we also have South Africa and Czech Republic. Now, quick little breakdown. Of course, Mexico being one of the hosts of the tournament, they're going to be well favored by many, and I'm one of those people that are going to be supporting that idea. I really do think Mexico can do very well in this tournament because they have home soil advantage and they have the numbers of fans always supporting them throughout the whole tournament. That is, people underrate how much of a big deal that is going into a World Cup. They also have a very young team now. A bit of some older people from the previous generation, but a majority now is a younger team. They have the same coach that they've had since about the 2010 World Cup. Yeah, so it's a bit of a transition period. But like I said, with the home soil and everything, I'm predicting Mexico to finish top of this group, right? And I think that will really be something that everybody in the nation will be expecting for them to top this group. This group, I would call it a little bit of a group of death. So, everybody are looking in without each other. Like, we can handle you. We're not scared of you, And I guess they could say the same thing for them. So I got Mexico, though, topping this group. Home soil advantage. I think South Korea, they're a very good footballing team. They got Lee Kang-in from PSG, just won the Champions League again. And they still have Son, who's actually playing in the MLS now in America. He can still help out. And I think they're much better footballing side than even Mexico, in my opinion. So I think they'll finish second. And then I think Czech Republic can sneak into third place, right? And they can get a win. They're not that really good of a footballing team in terms of on the floor, but they're very big, very physical, and they're really good defensively. So I think they can get a win. They got Patrick Schick up front, and then they also have the West Ham midfielder, Thomas Souček. Yeah, he can help out with them too. And I'm sorry, it's a shame, but I do think South Africa will finish at the bottom. Decent team, couple of decent players. Lyle Foster, their goalkeeper's pretty decent. But I do think that they'll finish bottom of the group. And yep, my order right there. Mexico, South Korea, Czech Republic, South Africa. Group B, let's go. All right, now let's welcome to the Group B predictions. We have another one of the hosts of the World Cup, Canada, in this group. We have Bosnia-Herzegovina, Switzerland, and Qatar. So based on previous knowledge and previous World Cups, I do think Switzerland will top this group. I don't think it will be as smooth sailing as before. A lot of their core players that are part of this squad, their spine, they are aging a bit. Manuel Kanji of Inter, the defender. Granit Xhaka at Sunderland. They still, somehow, someway in 2026, still have Brill and Bolo up front, but even he's aging. Ricardo Rodriguez, I can't believe he's only 33. I feel like I've known Ricardo Rodriguez for the last, 15 years. But he's still part of the Switzerland team. But like I said, they're aging. So I do believe this squad will top the group, but it won't be smooth sailing. I think second will be... second will go to Bosnia-Herzegovina. Again, another aging squad. They still have Edin Dzeko in 2026, 40-year-old striker. And they still have Sead Kolasinac, their captain, at left back. I think that they can sneak second place. And I think the host Canada will just about make it in third. Now, I mentioned home advantage for Mexico, and this applies to Canada too. But why I have them finishing third is their two best players, Davis, the left back, he's not fit right now. He's at the tournament. He's there, but he's not really playing. So I think that will hurt them a bit, him not being involved from the beginning. And then on top of that, Jonathan David, their other player right there, he's been touted as one of their best players, but he's a bit of an underperformer in big tournaments. He never really turns up. So I don't know if Canada can really rely on that. So I think they'll make it through the group, but I think they'll finish third. And I think Qatar will... be one of the teams that just make up the numbers. I'm not going to lie. It will be a very big accomplishment if they manage to score a goal in this tournament. And yeah, that's where my Group B ends. Like I said, Switzerland, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Canada, and Qatar. Group C, let's go. All right, Group C. We have Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, and Haiti, all right? Brazil, best World Cup team of all time, 5 World Cup wins. But it's been a while since they've delivered on the World Cup. I think it's been since 2002, last time they won the World Cup. 2002, the last time they reached the final, of course. But do I think that they'll have a good shot? I think they have a good shot depending on their route. And I do think that they'll top this group. I think, including the likes of Vinicius, Rafinha, all of these guys, I think they'll help out with the attack and everything. And Ancelotti being the manager will really help them push the go far, right? So I have them topping the group. I have Morocco finishing second, right? And I think Scotland can get through the round of 32 with a win. They're playing Haiti first, I believe, so they do have to get 3 points in that game. And I think they'll finish third. And just like Qatar, I think Haiti will be there to make up the numbers. It's their first time in the World Cup in, I think, almost 50 years. So they'll be just very happy to be there. So my Group C order right here: Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, Haiti. Let's go to Group D. All right. Group D. So Group D, we have our final group with one of the three hosts: America, Paraguay, Turkey, and Australia. All right. So in this group, I really do believe that when it comes to, the hosts, I think America can top this group, but I'm not so quite sure that they will. I think they'll finish second, right? I think Turkey will actually top this group. Turkey have a lot of talented players in Kenan Yildiz and Arda Güler, right? Very young squad, right? I think they'll top this group. I think Australia, though, will unfortunately come third, and I think Paraguay will finish last. Yes, that will be my order right here. I think, again, Homestar will help America. That's why I think they could finish first in this group. But I think this quality of Turkey will push. I think Turkey's quality will be enough to push them over and finish top of the group. But America will still get second. And then third place will be, of course, Australia, and Paraguay will be dead last. Paraguay are a decent team. In the qualifying, I remember they beat Argentina, beat Brazil, but I don't think they'll be able to bring up the level when it comes to the World Cup big lights and everything. So I do think that they'll finish bottom of the group. So again, my Group C order: Turkey, USA, Australia, Paraguay. Let's go. All right. We're in Group E. And in Group E, we have Germany, Ecuador, Ivory Coast, and Curacao. All right. Curacao, it's one of their first times in the World Cup, right? And just like that, I think they'll be, again, one of the few teams to just make up the numbers here at this World Cup. They're a decent team, They're island off the Netherlands, so a lot of players that didn't make the Netherlands squad, they are part of the Curacao team, right? But I do think that they will not go far into the tournament, right? So I do think they'll finish bottom of the group. And then in third place, I'm actually going to put Ecuador. Now, Ecuador have a couple of decent players. William Pacho, who I think is one of the best center backs in the world at PSG. He's in part of their team. Hincapié at Arsenal. He's also a very good center back. He's part of the team too. And Moises Caicedo from Chelsea there. So they have a good core, like them three playing as the two center backs in the DM. They have a very good core. But and in qualifying, they actually were very good defensively. But the problem is their attack. In Big 2-6, they're still relying on Enner Valencia to score the goals for them, right? And, he's still going strong in 2026, but I think that's what will hold them back in finishing third. Into finishing third. But I do believe that Ivory Coast will finish above them. Ivory Coast have a very underrated team, in my opinion. And I think that they'll push for even first potentially, but I think they'll finish second, right? And I think to top the group will be Germany. I think Germany have underperformed the last couple World Cups. I think the last time they actually had a good World Cup was when they won it back in 2014. And they have a lot of good young players now. Kai Havertz, no, not Havertz, he's not young. But Florian Wirtz, Jamal Musiala, these guys, they have that midfielder Pavlovic from Bayern Munich. So I do think that those guys can help them push forward, and I think they need to have a good tournament with their young coach, Nagelsmann, right? So, yes, I have the Germany finish top in the group. So for Group E, it's Germany, Ivory Coast, Ecuador, and Curacao. Let's go. All right. Group F, okay? So in Group F, we have the Netherlands, Japan. We also have Tunisia and Sweden. Now, Sweden were very lucky to make it to the World Cup as they won their qualifying match and against Poland, very close in the last minute, right? Victor Gyökeres, who I think is a dark horse to win a Golden Boot this tournament, right? He was very, very close to being like the Polish part of the teams that didn't make the World Cup, but he helped his team pull through. But I do think that Sweden will finish third in this group, right? And I think Tunisia, one of the best African teams in this competition, I do think they'll finish bottom, right? I think Japan could sneak first in qualifying. They scored about 54 goals in World Cup qualifying and only conceded 3. So they're a very, very good nation when it comes to the footballing side. And like I said, I could see them finishing first, but I do believe that Japan will finish second, right? And then I think the Netherlands will top the group. The Netherlands are a very good team front to back. I think their attack is probably the only place where they're a little bit weak, but I do believe that the Netherlands will top the group. Japan will finish second. Tunisia are going to finish bottom, right? And then Sweden will finish third, okay? There we go. That's Group F. Let's move on to Group G. All right, we're in Group G, okay? Now with Group G, we have Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand, okay? Again, New Zealand, another one of these countries that I think are benefited by this increase in the World Cup with 48 teams, but a bit of a disadvantage as they're just not as big of a footballing nation as these other teams within this World Cup and the other teams in their group. I think New Zealand, again, like other countries, are here to make up the numbers. I think New Zealand will finish bottom of this group. And and I think just right above them will be Iran. I think Iran will do decently like they've done in the past few World Cups. But I don't think that they'll be pushing farther than third. And then in second place, I have Egypt. I got Omar Marmoush and Mohamed Salah helping out with Egypt's woes, with their team transitioning from the team that they had over the years, and I think that they'll be able to help push Belgium as far as they can, but ultimately finish second. And although this isn't the same golden generation Belgium that we had in the past, I do think that Belgium will top this group. And yes, I do believe that they will, like I said, top this group and do well in this tournament. So my Group G orders right here, it's going to be Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Let's go for Group H. All right. So we're going to be talking about Group H. Group H have potential winners of the World Cup, in my opinion, in Spain, right? I do believe they're one of the favorites to win this whole tournament. And, of course, if I'm saying that, then they're definitely going to top their group. They, in my opinion, have the best player in the world in their team in Lamine Yamal. And they have some of the best players in the world across their whole team. And, Pedri in midfield, Rodri. They also have a very good left winger, Nico Williams, a very good attacking player in Dani Olmo. Cucurella is very good attacking and underrated defensively left back. I know this season he wasn't really that good for Chelsea, but they had a lot of issues going on within the club that hampered his season. And for the first half of the season, he was really good under Enzo Maresca. But like I said, I have Spain. I think they'll top the group. I think Uruguay will come second. Fede Valverde, Darwin Núñez, an underrated attacker, and they still have people like Jimenez going strong in there. Muslera still kicking in strong in goal for them. So their spine, I think, is what will carry them into second place, right? Even though they do have a little bit of issues with their manager, Bielsa, they're not really feeling him like that. There's a bit of tension within the players and the manager and the federation, they're always going to side with the players. So hopefully that can subside over and they can finish second, right? And then in third place, I do believe, surprise, surprise, it will be Cape Verde. I think Cape Verde will finish third in their group as they're part of this group. And my reason for that is Cape Verde actually have a very, very good defense, right? I think they can keep up and manage to handle, going far into this tournament, right? Cape Verde, in my opinion, yes, I think they will finish third in this group. And I think Saudi Arabia will finish last. And my only reasoning for that is they just lost their manager, the French manager. I think his name is Rene something. I forgot his name, Rene Hard. Yeah, he left a couple months before the World Cup started, which is already not a good thing for them as they have an aging squad. It's not the same team that was at the World Cup that surprisingly shocked and beat Argentina 2-1. So, I think those struggles plus losing their coach, I think will hamper them and they will finish bottom of this group. So my Group H predictions are Spain, Uruguay, Cape Verde, and Saudi Arabia. Group G. Come on. All right, all right. So we're going to be talking here about Group I. All right, Group I, in my opinion, is another potential group of death right here. And also, with Group I, right, I do truly believe that it has another team that I think are one of the contenders for the tournament, right? You have your Kylian Mbappe, of course, Cherki Olise, Desiree Doué, Bradley Barcola. These guys are all, of course, part of the French team that I think are just littered with talent throughout. Chouamini, Rabiot, Upamecano, Saliba. This is a incredible team that has another great international coach and international player as well. As Deschamps is one of the few people to win the World Cup as a player and a manager. So I do believe that France can go far in this tournament, but I do believe they'll top this group. But I do think it will be they're a little suspicious, France. That's the only thing I'll give them an issue with. They're not, and they don't really play as well together as a team. It's really more about the individual quality, right? France, in my opinion, they could top this group with 7.6 points. They're a little suspicious, right? And I think that how the group is going to look, of course, France, Norway, Senegal, and Iraq. That's the order I'm going to have it in. And I think the reason why I'm going to have that in that order is, like I said, France, I think, are one of the best teams in the tournament and can win it for sure. I think Norway will finish second. I'm edging Norway only because of one man and one man only, Erling Haaland. I think he'll win the Golden Boot in this tournament. And I do believe that he is capable of pushing Norway as far as they can into this World Cup. They won every single one of their qualifier games with him getting 16 goals in 8 games, and also him averaging, like I said, 2 goals a game with Odegaard on the side, Oscar Bob. Norway have a decent little team. Senegal have a decent team too, but I think Holland is the difference maker here, and why I think Senegal will actually finish third. Sadio Mane is still kicking about. Koulibaly, Edouard Mendy, if you remember him at Chelsea. I think that they have a lot of good players as this part of the old guard, but they have a lot of good young players too. That Mbaye that plays for PSG, a very young midfielder, he's really good as well. So I believe that mixture will be enough for them to finish third and be one of the third-place teams that go into the round of 32. I think Iraq, like many other teams, are here to make up the numbers. So that's my order for Group I. France, Norway, Senegal, and then Iraq. Let's move on to Group J. All right, let's go. We're in Group J. All right. Group J has the World Cup champions, Argentina. We also got Austria. We got Algeria, and then we got Jordan. A lot of A's in this group, and then one J. And I think that one J, Jordan, again, I think this is like another topic I guess we'll discuss in another video. But the way football is moving in the modern world, and with all these expansions of tournaments and everything, in my opinion, I feel like it's going to dilute the quality of these tournaments, and modernization has now affected the World Cup. And no disrespect to Jordan, they're probably a very proud country and happy that they're in this World Cup, but, they're not that big of a footballing nation. I do believe they'll finish last in this group. And then I do believe in third place will be Algeria, actually. I think Algeria will finish third, and the only reason I say for that is because they have a very young squad. Their best players from their golden generation are aging now. And I think although Austria have an aging squad, Arnautovic still scored a lot of goals in qualifying. Alaba's still kicking about. I know he's been injury prone, but he can hang in there. And their manager, Ralf Rangnick, he's actually a very good coach. He can help them push through and be able to, I guess, squeeze out that last bit of talent left within this team, And then, of course, I think Argentina will top this group. As, Argentina are still full of quality throughout the whole team. Will they win this World Cup, though? I'm not really too sure, only because of the competition and also just the probability, the likelihood of a team retaining a World Cup is very unlikely. It's only happened twice, and the last time it happened was in the 50s with Brazil. So I just don't think that Argentina will be able to retain this World Cup, but I do think they'll still go far. So my Group J order will be Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and then Jordan. Let's go. All right, Group K. And now I'm going to maybe sound a little biased here as, of course, I'm a Man United fan, as you guys probably didn't know. And also, of course, the reason why I'm a Man United fan and the reason why I'm into football It's because of Mr. Portugal himself, Cristiano Ronaldo, and I bring him up because Group K does have Portugal. Now, ironically enough, I do believe that Portugal can win this World Cup, but it will have to be in spite of Ronaldo and their manager, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, Ronaldo is one of, if not the greatest football player of all time, but right now that's not him. Right now he's playing and looking like his age, 41, 42 years old. And don't get it twisted. If you leave Ronaldo open in the box, he will score. Don't matter who you're playing, he will score. But the thing is everything else that he had to his game has diminished completely, which is expected, you know. Father Time is undefeated. It catches everyone. And this World Cup, I guess my one worry for Portugal, because I do believe despite Ronaldo and their manager, again, I think they have one of the most talented squads in the whole tournament. In my opinion, they have the best midfield in the whole tournament with Vitinha, Neves, and Bruno Fernandes, who in my opinion, will win Player of the Year in the Premier League as he just broke the assist record for a Premier League season. So, yeah, Portugal, I think, will top this group. But going far in the tournament will be dependent on the manager and if Ronaldo can sacrifice his ego for the sake of his country and actually winning this World Cup. Colombia will come second. Luis Diaz, of course. James Rodriguez, this is his last World Cup. He's giving it one last go. A couple of other players, you know. So I do believe that Colombia will finish second. And then I think in third, actually, will be Congo. I think Congo will actually finish third in this World Cup. It's their first World Cup in a long time. I think they'll come third. And sadly, unfortunately, like I said, for Jordan and other countries, Uzbekistan will finish dead last, in my opinion. So my group K order will be Portugal, Colombia, Congo, Uzbekistan. And the last group next, Group L. All right, and now we're here with the last group of the whole World Cup. All right, Group L. And of course, it's got a lot of people's favorite, England, on this group. England now are going to this first international tournament without Gareth Southgate. You know, a manager who, when was first appointed, was, misaligned by a lot of English people. A lot of people thought it was a very easy appointment to make because he was coaching the under 21s, under 18s before, and, it was just a promotion, right? But for the first time in a while, he actually made England, England fans appreciate what they were seeing. Fun to watch. Maybe not in terms of how they played, but in terms of the results that they were getting, going far in tournaments and everything. But the one thing that English people used to always throw in his face and throw into the team's face, or people who defended him, is that he could never quite literally get them through the line. And although he reached the World Cup semifinal in 18, the Euros final in 2020 and 2021, and then the Euros final again in 2024, and the quarterfinals back in 2022 of the World Cup, he decided to leave the job as he thought he took England as far as he could. And now Thomas Tuchel's come in, ex Chelsea manager, Dortmund, Bayern Munich. He's won across the land, and he's a very good tactical manager. And a lot of people think that can help England go far in this tournament. I think they will go far in this tournament because of people like Harry Kane, Declan Rice, a lot of their players that they have, And although his squad selection is a bit iffy to a lot of people, I do believe that England will still go far in this tournament. Now, I do think also they'll top this group. And I think even though Croatia still have a lot of their older players, right? Luka Modric is going to another World Cup, his sixth one, like Messi, Ronaldo. I do think Croatia with their old guard will still finish second because the technical ability is there, right? I think Panama will finish last. Again, another country that's making up the numbers here. And I do think Ghana will finish third. And yes, Ghana have a couple of good players. Thomas Partey still kicking about. Antoine Semenyo, who was at Bournemouth halfway through the season, and Man City, a very good winger, will also be at this World Cup too. And he can even play up front for Ghana. So we'll see what they do with him. But yes, my last group order, right, for Group L is going to be England. Of course, in second place, Croatia, Ghana, and lastly, Panama. That's going to be my last group orders. Next is going to be picking the third place teams and then the round of 32. Let's go. Okay, now with all the teams that I mentioned before that finished third, these are so with the 48 teams now being a thing in this World Cup, third place can get you to the next round for the round of 32, of course, right? So with that being the case, only 8 teams though can make it to the round of 32, and I have to pick the 8 teams based on what I thought was going to happen. So if we go back here real quick, I do think that Czech Republic will beat and get a win against South Africa. Now the thing is will it be a big win? I'm not sure because they're not a very good footballing side. They're more focused on the physical aspect. I seen a stat around the interwebs and everything that they're actually on average one of the tallest teams in the tournament. I think only Bosnia is taller than them, which is funny because they're neighboring countries. So okay, I do believe that Canada will be one of the teams. So let's just go and pick Canada right here. All right, so we got Canada. Okay, and if we go back right here, I do think, of course, Scotland will be another one of these teams. So we can pick Scotland, right? And then Australia, of course, as well, right? Get Australia in there. And then, yes, I do believe that it'll be Ecuador, Sweden, and Ecuador, Sweden, Senegal, Algeria. Ooh, I think I messed up right here. I think I put Congo fourth instead of Uzbekistan. So let me fix that real quick. But yes, right? I do believe that Algeria, Senegal, and Ghana will make it as well. So let me just pick Algeria, Senegal, and Ghana. And I also said Sweden and Ecuador. Oh, that's 8 teams. So now I need to be very careful because I'm not sure about these. But then again, Congo and Cape Verde, they're very good teams, but they're very good defensively. So yes, they may not be able to concede a lot, but will they score? Okay, who's in Congo's group again? Uzbekistan is there. They got Kushinov at City. He's a good defender. And then obviously Cape Verde. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think those 2 teams won't make it. Yeah, so the 8 teams that I have here, going all the way through, are going to be Canada, Scotland, Australia, Ecuador, Sweden, Senegal, Algeria, and Ghana. Now we enter the knockout stage for real, for real. The round of 32. South Korea versus Bosnia. I'm going to give it to South Korea right here. Germany, Australia, Germany. Ho, ho, ho. Now this is a game. Netherlands, Morocco. Now, this is a crazy one, but I think I'm going to just about edge the Netherlands. Brazil, Japan, another good game. I'm going to give it to Brazil, though. France, Sweden. Yeah, that's a tricky one for France, but I think they'll do it. Ivory Coast, Norway. Wow. I'm going to edge Erling Haaland every single time. Mexico and Scotland, I mean, being the home nation, I got to give it to Mexico. England, Senegal. Senegal did beat England, I believe, in an international friendly yes, I think it was a friendly sometime earlier in the previous season that just passed. But I think England will lock in and win this game right here. Canada, Turkey. Ooh, tricky one for Canada. This is I can come back to that. Belgium, Ecuador. I'm gonna edge Belgium. Colombia, Croatia. That is a good game, but I'm gonna give it to Colombia. Energy and everything. They're the younger team. They have a couple of players that can match them technically. Spain will destroy Austria, in my opinion. I think Switzerland, Algeria. That's a tasty game. Switzerland, Algeria. I'll edge Switzerland. Argentina, Uruguay. Wow, 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 wow. I'm gonna give it to Argentina, and then Portugal, Ghana. I think Portugal will beat Ghana, and America and Egypt. I think America will be able to beat Egypt. I really do. Now, if we go back to Turkey and Canada, I am going to favor the home team. I'm going to give it to Canada. I think Alphonso Davies will be back, and I think they'll be able to handle that. Now, the round of 16. Things heat up, really. Germany, France. What a first game in the round of 16. I think France take it. The Netherlands and South Korea. Netherlands will beat South Korea, in my opinion. All right. Brazil, Norway. I think this is where Norway's tournament ends, but I think they'll give Brazil a very good game. Could go to extra time here. Mexico and England, I think the same thing. Could go to extra time. I think England will win. Colombia and Spain. I have Spain beating Colombia right here. And I think Belgium will beat Canada. And I think the Argentina will beat America. And I think Portugal will beat Switzerland. And that's the round of 16 done. And now we get to the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals here are looking very, very tasty. France, Netherlands. I think France will beat Netherlands. And then Spain and Belgium. I think Belgium will give Spain a bit of competition because they have some players that can physically cause some problems to Spain, but I think Spain will outplay them. And then when it comes to Brazil and England, although Brazil might have the better team on paper in terms of the quality and the manager, I actually think England will take this one. I think England physically though will outmaneuver Brazil. And then Argentina and Portugal, it's a very tight call. And I might sound a little biased, probably not. But I think I'm going to just edge Portugal here. I think that they'll be more hungry than Argentina due to the sole fact that, they'll be desperate to try and actually win this World Cup for themselves, for their country, and also Ronaldo. Plus, I think the midfield battle is very key. And like I said, I think Portugal have the best midfield in the whole tournament. Now the semifinals, where things get very serious. I think Portugal will beat England. Again, even though England physically could outmaneuver Portugal, I think that Portugal will be able to handle them, can match them physically, and I think technically as well, they'll be better. And then when it comes to France and Spain, this is the game of the whole tournament right here. This is quality versus team synergy right here with Spain and France. I think that when it comes to, this is very tight. I don't know who I can call here. Oof. I think Spain are going to do it. I think Spain will beat France. And then I think that's the third place match right here. I think France will beat England in the third place match. And I think the winners of the World Cup, which is ironically also the same Nations League final back in 2025 last year in the summer, I think Portugal, like they did before, will beat Spain. And I think Portugal will be the World Cup winners. And I think Ronaldo will finally finish his story. All right. So, yes, as you guys can see, I'm being biased. I'm being a Man United fan, a Ronaldo Glazer. I don't care. I think Portugal are going to win this World Cup. And I genuinely believe so because they have the best midfield in the whole tournament. They got the best left back in the world. I think they also have the most clutch player of all time in their team too. And I think if he's used properly, and I think he will be used properly, they can win this World Cup, right? Now, when I mean the best midfield in the tournament, of course, we know the names João Neves, Vitinha, and the future 2025-2026 Premier League Player of the Year in Bruno Fernandes, who just broke the Premier League assist record in a season with 21 assists. I think because those three players specifically, and Nuno Mendes, who is the best left back in the world, have not played a lot of minutes this season, especially Bruno, due to the fact that, United have had a pretty bad season in cup competitions with only playing 40 games. I think that physically they'll be able to handle the intensity of the heat in the World Cup, and the fact that I think that they're the most one of the most talented squads in the whole tournament, I think that will help them too, right? So with that being said in mind, I do believe that when it comes to Portugal, I think they will win the World Cup. And who my dark horses will be, I think Brazil will be my dark horses. Now, all of this will be in the bottom here, probably, it's probably already here. I'm just, putting my hand to give emphasis and everything, right? Right. It's sort of down there or up here. I don't know, right there. Right. But anyways, right. With Brazil, I know it's crazy calling Brazil a dark horse, but listen to me, trust me. Not a lot of people are talking about Brazil, which is fair, right? They haven't really done anything in a long time, right? And, it's kind of unfortunate for that to be the case. This is a country that's qualified for every World Cup. This is a country that's won 5 World Cups, the most ever, but not really a big footballing nation currently these days, But they still have some of the best players in the world. They still got Vinicius Jr., who does need to prove himself in this World Cup, and I think he will. Rafinha, and now I know what you guys are saying, but didn't you say that England will beat them in your quarterfinal prediction? I did say that, but I do believe that Brazil, it wouldn't surprise me if Brazil proved me wrong and they go farther than that. So I do believe that, Brazil are capable of winning this World Cup, and I think that will be mainly due to the fact of Carlo Ancelotti. I think he is obviously one of the best managers of all time, and I think he can work with the squad. He's had a lot of success with some of these players in the squad already, so I think that can transition over here. Ancelotti is one of the best man managers of all time. He's a type of coach that a lot of players have said in the past. They are he likes that he lets them handle this training, lets them handle the team talks, lets them handle the overarching, like, mood and behavior within the team. He even lets players get involved in tactics, lets them say what's comfortable for them, and only intervenes when necessary. And I think that's a good thing to have, as a manager, because that creates a kind of harmony and synergy that, players are looking for. You get me, right? And so that's why I think that Brazil are dark horses. Surprised him in the tournament. I'm going with Norway. And I think the reason for that is, like I said, World Cup qualifiers, 8 out of 8 games won, topped their group in the qualifiers. Holland scored 16 goals in 8 games. That's 2 goals a game, right? And I think because of that, too, I also think Holland will be the top goal scorer in the tournament, right? I think he will clean sweep in the group stages, right? And I think that will be the reason why he'll become the top goal scorer. I think that Norway are very underrated. I know Odegaard hasn't been good for Arsenal this season, but I think he'll turn up for his country, right? And I think that a lot of other players in Norway, will also turn up as well, right? So with that being said, I think that Norway will go far with Erling Haaland leading them in front, and I think that's why they'll be the surprise team of the tournament. Now, the best player of the tournament, I think, will be Bruno Fernandes, right? I think he'll be the best player in the tournament because, like I said, he broke the assist record recently for Man United this season, the Premier League assist record, right? And I think that because of the lack of play time that he's had this season, I think that will help him. I think everything attacking-wise for Portugal goes through him, and I think that will be able to, get his assist numbers up, get everything up, and I think he'll win player of the tournament, right? I think young player of the tournament will be Lamine Yamal. This kid is just unbelievable. He's fantastic. I have no words for Lamine Yamal other than the fact that I can't believe he's only 18. I think he'll be young player of the tournament. He has a shout for probably being player of the tournament. I just think because Portugal, even though I think Spain will reach the final, Portugal, I think, will beat them, and I think that will help them win the World Cup. And so, yeah, I think that Lamine Yamal has a shot for player of the tournament, but I think he'll for sure be young player of the tournament. And I think the Golden Boot winner will be Erling Haaland. Like I said earlier, I think he'll score the most goals in this World Cup. I think he'll score about 5 goals. Yes, I think that'll be enough. Well, maybe with extra games, I'll push it to 6. I think he'll score 6 goals this World Cup. And I think that'll be enough. I think he'll win the Golden Boot. And yeah, this is Jermaine's Football Truths. I'm Jermaine, right? Or JFT, of course. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.